Now is the time.
Hi, I'm Yvan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today we're going to dive into preparing your car for the onslaught of winter.
You gotta get the vehicle prepared, Yvan, and now is the time to do it.
Right. You know, we're into fall. It's still October, so still some leaves on the trees, things like that. But it's now time to get that vehicle prepared, so it'll be a lot easier to clean in the spring and a lot nicer to drive during the winter as well.
I had this image just pop into my head about like climbing Mount Everest, right? And you know if you're gonna climb Mount Everest that it's gonna be hard, it's gonna kick your butt, you're gonna suffer. That's just part of it. But would you rather train your butt off and be in like the best shape of your life? Or would you rather be the opposite and still go through that? Which is to say, your car's about to get its butt kicked. The elements are gonna do what they're gonna do. So the best thing you can do now is prepare for that in a meticulous, thorough way.
Right.
And when you come out the other side, you're gonna be grateful you did it.
Very grateful. And during the winter as well. You're going to be very grateful because your car is going to stay cleaner. It's going to be easier to maintain, easier to clean. And if you happen to go through a car wash, it's going to come out the other end a lot nicer. Now, preparing for winter, we always think of the undercarriage and rust proofing, and definitely that's something you want to do. But let's talk about the paint. The paint needs to be prepared as well. And first off, the first thing we need to do is decontaminate the paint. You need to have it decontaminated, and not just a mechanical decontamination. We need to do a chemical decontamination as well. Now, chemical decontamination, first thought that comes into everybody's mind is iron remover. And yes, you need to do that. But there's another one that a lot of people forget, and that's water spot remover. And the water spot remover does a lot of interesting things for you. First of all, during the summer, you washed your car every week religiously. You did a great job. It's beautiful. But you still have a little bit of chemicals and minerals in that paint, whether it's coated or not. So all that we're saying here, whether your car is ceramic coated or not ceramic coated, applies. Has nothing to do with the last, finish on your paint. But removing those minerals, because when you wash your vehicle, unless you're using deionized water to rinse your car, you are going to get a little bit of mineral content on there that's eventually going to mask. Whether you have a coating or ceramic gloss or something like that, it is going to mask that slightly.
Yes, use water spot remover. I think you can also use it as you detail throughout the winter. You don't have to do the thorough, I've washed, I've deconned with the perforated synthetic decontamination alcohol, and then I'm gonna spray water spot remover on and then agitate it in. You don't quite need to do that, but wash the paint, or even before you wash the paint, spray some water spot remover on there. Let it dwell, right? Like, just use it to your advantage, because in the wintertime, salt, all that buildup, calcium chloride, I believe, on your paint, it clogs up your coating, so it's not going to beat as much. And I've noticed, and this is real, like I've seen it because I live in Utah with the snow, when you've got coated paint and it's real slick, the snow, sometimes, it depends on the conditions, right? But sometimes you'll find that the snow really just kind of slides off your paint. So we're not promising it, but Yvan, what is the behavior on the paint where it actually can make it safer in the winter to keep your paint nice and slick and protected?
So in the winter, definitely having your vehicle coated is going to make the snow come off a lot easier. And if you're using a snow brush to remove the snow accumulation on the vehicle, which legally we have to, as detailers, we want to leave a little bit on there so we're not touching the paint with a brush, but there are other tools to do that. There's foam type material that you can use, or you can just wrap your brush with a microfiber towel. That being said, when it's coated, you're not going to have to press as hard. You're not going to have to slide as hard. And if the vehicle is somewhat warmed up by the sun, the snow just slides off by itself. And the same goes for your windows. Ceramic coating your windows, even if you're not ceramic coating the paint, you want to ceramic coat your windows. It makes them a lot easier to clean that ice and frost off the windows.
Yeah, and as it heats up just a little bit, whether it's your air vent, and you're getting the hot air blowing on the windshield, or just the sun. Yeah. Once it finally hits that temperature where it starts to melt, you just notice the chunks start to just melt and dissolve and fly away as you drive. So anyway, it does help to have protected paint, but I look at the beginning of fall, or right before winter even, and then spring the same way, where I'm wanting to do a deep clean. I'm not wanting to take shortcuts.
Yeah.
I'd say, after a winter of snow and ice sliding around your paint, you may consider that light polish. So I'm not talking about polishing your paint here. Don't polish before winter. I think it's a little silly.
Yeah.
As a big maintenance step. But I think decontaminating, water spot remover, using our decon towel, putting a nice layer of ceramic gloss quick beads, or now is a great time to ceramic coat your vehicle as well. And we named
Definitely.
October ceramic coating month for that very reason, right?
Exactly. No, if you have the capacity to put on a ceramic coating, and our ceramic coatings, you don't need to have a garage. You don't need to worry about it staying out of the rain for 24 hours. 1 hour, you're safe. So you can do it yourself. You can do it outside. It's not a difficult process to do. If you can apply a wax, you can apply a ceramic coating. And we have a lot of videos on the channel that describe how to easily apply a ceramic coating. And no, you don't need to polish your car before you put on a ceramic coating. You just need it properly decontaminated. So again, water spot remover, iron remover, the decontamination towel, you will have nice clean paint ready for a ceramic coating. And the same applies if you're going to be using ceramic gloss or quick beads. Now, ceramic gloss, quick beads, they're going to last you through the winter if you maintain your vehicle. But that being said, if you can put a ceramic coating on now, even better. It's just going to protect it for a lot longer. And if you like the look of your paint the way it is now, if you're satisfied with how your paint looks, no, you don't need to polish it. Yes, it's a great cleaning step. It's a great insurance. It makes sure, especially with the gold standard polish, that you're not going to have any blemishes or contamination. Think of it as a deep cleaning of the paint. But again, it's not 100% necessary.
I actually like polishing my paint from that place mentally, where I like the look of my car as is.
Right.
I'm going to polish now, because then I'm going to do the Yvan method. I'm not going to stare at that paint for 20 minutes trying to get it perfect. I'm going to do up, down, left, right, up, down, with a slightly damp pad, using the pad washer. I'm going to be wiping off with a rinseless dampened towel. Like, it's so easy. The method that we teach is so easy. You don't have to overthink it. You're not going after deep defects. And it's so fast. And I think of, just like a cleaning polish, right? And then your paint inevitably looks amazing. You've got the clean paint. It's ready for a coating. And you're not removing much clear coat, if any at all. And so in that way, I think you could polish before winter, but only really if you're going to put a coating on. Otherwise, no need to do that step when you're about to go into these crazy elements, because your paint will get marred up by all of that, again, in the wintertime. Yeah. The snow, even if you are babying it, will melt and then slide off your paint. Like, this is the real world. Things are going to happen. Yeah. I think it's a great time as far as interior goes, right? It's going to get nasty in there over the winter time. Do you decide not to clean it then? No, it's like your house or your kitchen or your bathroom. Oh, it's going to get dirty. No. So set a nice foundation, clean those carpets up, put some interior ceramic on there. Like, I think it's a great time to do a deep clean before it gets frigid out. You've got the fall leaves, the birds chirping, it's the sun out. Find a nice fall Sunday and take the afternoon and clean out that interior and set yourself up for success this winter. Yeah,
and if you absolutely have to, put the football game on the radio. But for that, the rest, just clean your interior. You will thank yourself all winter long by starting the winter off with a nice, clean interior. And as you mentioned, Nick, the interior ceramic, great product, especially on the carpets. That salt ring is not going to accumulate. And those of you that are listening from Florida, California, New Mexico, places like that don't get snow, trust me, it happens. And it's not fun. And even for you guys, Texas last year had really cold days. Florida had really cold days. So you don't want to necessarily be out there detailing when it's close to freezing. So now's the time to do it. Get out there, clean that interior. Get those windows on the inside pristine, perfectly clean, so you can see out better. And there's a lot of things we can do to prepare. Now, if you've got the factory, carpeted floor mats, maybe think of switching them out for a plastic, either a Husky liner or a WeatherTech or something like that.
What's the brand Rick from Red Garage used? He showed us some in one of our, we did a elements detailing, how to detail the elements.
I think they're Tux mats.
He said, he showed it to us. Those looked awesome.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Yeah. There's a lot of different levels of interior mats, but having some form of rubber, or plastic mat down there, especially one that contains the liquid. So it has the sides that, go up, That way, you could pour a cup of coffee in there and it's going to freeze and stay there till the spring. Not a good idea, but nonetheless, those mats do a lot to help you save your carpeting. And if your vehicle is a couple years old, you can actually check out your local scrap yards. They will often have them for your model. So a vehicle that's been in an accident that had those mats in it, they'll sell them to you for like $5 or $10. So
Oh,
yeah, so because they are expensive, they're not cheap.
no.
I have them in my car and I know what they cost, and no, they're not cheap, but they do help. And they make cleaning the car so much easier, because you look at your floor and it's muddy and it's dirty and it's wet and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have to vacuum that up. You pull that out and, oh, look, my carpet's perfect again. So clean those, put them back in. Other things to prepare for winter, make sure your windshield washer fluid is full. Make sure your windshield is clean. While you have the decontamination towel, clean that windshield and put anything on there to help. So ceramic gloss is great. Of course, quick beads and the ceramic coatings. So if you're putting ceramic coating, do not forget to do your glass. It's going to make it so much easier to drive in the winter, but also to keep them clean.
One question we get a lot. Can I use DIY Detail rinseless wash at 250 6:1 dilution as my windshield wiper fluid?
Yes, as long as you're not in an area that goes below freezing, because it is going to freeze. And when it freezes, you're not going to be happy, because those little plastic tubes can now split open. So no, if you're in an environment that doesn't get freezing temperatures, by all means, it worked great. If you're in an environment that gets freezing temperatures, you don't want to do that.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is our new ceramic infused waterless wash.
Right.
What applications would that have? Because we just came out with it. We've been sitting on it for a long time because we were waiting on labels, and we've been talking about it and everyone's been asking about it. So they may just be excited to get this. Give them a reason to be excited about it as we head into the winter months. I love it for interior wipe downs, for door jams, but go ahead. I know this has been your baby.
So interior wipe downs, like you say, glass cleaner, it works well for that. And for touch-ups on the outside. So you've been to the car wash. In the winter, there's that nice sunny day. You go through the touch-free car wash, you come out, and it did an okay job, but it missed some spots. There's water drips. That is where the wireless wash is a perfect use. No, if your car is covered in ice and covered in mud and covered in snow and covered in slush, it's not the right tool for you. Trust me, wireless wash has its place, and its place isn't everywhere. But having a bottle of waterless wash, and like you said, for interior, a little drop on the console, or you screwed something up, it's there, it's nice. Now, unfortunately, it freezes. So you don't want to keep it in the car during the winter if you're in an environment that freezes. But like you say, you've been through the car wash, the door jams, because you definitely want to dry your door jams in the winter after a car wash, because the next day it might freeze, and when it freezes, you might end up locking yourself out of your car. Not because the locks don't work, but because the seals are frozen shut because of water on them. So it's a great way of doing that. It's a nice drying aid. So you've been, again, through the car wash, and then you just, as you're going around drying your car, nice plush microfiber towel. The car is clean, so you're not removing any dirt, but it acts really well as a drying aid. And it has a bit of ceramic in it. It's not as powerful as ceramic gloss, not as powerful as quick beads, but it's going to give you a couple weeks protection.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice tool to have in your arsenal for sure. It's great when you're going to car shows. I know we're at the tail end of car show season, but some people ask a lot of questions about the waterless wash. Like, well, isn't it the same as your rinseless wash? And can't you just dilute the rinseless wash to a waterless wash dilution? And it's like, okay, I just wanted to clear up some of that confusion. It's just it is an actual detailer where you spray it on if it's slightly dusty, let it do its thing. Use proper microfiber towel technique on the paint. Whereas rinseless wash, it benefits more when you use it as a system. And anyway, I know we've talked about the waterless wash a lot already, but people have questions.
But, and then cleaning your car through the winter, there's a lot of things you can do. Like I said, go through a car wash on a day that you're going to have at least 24 hours without freezing afterwards. Take it through the car wash. Preferably a touch-free car wash, but you can take it through the car wash. Another option is going to a coin-op car wash. Some places, the coin-op car washes are open year-round. And if they're open year-round, you can go in there, and especially if you go a little earlier in the morning, a little later in the afternoon when there's nobody there, you can take the time and maybe even bring a bucket of rinseless and do it yourself there. The brushes that they have, you may or may not want to put those on your vehicle. On the wheels, fine. But on the rest of the vehicle, not so much. But that pressure washer that they have normally is a high volume, high pressure washer. So you can even go in there, pre-rinse your car, put a couple coins in, just rinse the car and then drive it home. You've taken all that heavy stuff off and then drive it home, do a proper contact wash. If you're going to be doing that, when you're there, they have the foam cannon there, or not foam cannon, but they have the foaming thing. Throw a little foam on there. They have a pre-soak, use that pre-soak, or bring a little sprayer with some rinseless wash in it before you go in while you're waiting in line. Spray down your car, let it dwell. It's not going to cause any water spots even if it dries. And then drive it in, rinse it off, drive home, and finish your wash.
You know, it's nice to have too. I know we're talking about prepping your car for winter, not necessarily winter, but
yeah,
the turbo nozzle for getting snow out of the wheel wells and just it's great on a lot of caked on dirt.
Yeah, if you have a pressure washer, they sell turbo nozzles, on Amazon, local stores, whatever. But the turbo nozzle, it's a 0 degree nozzle, so you want to be careful. It can cause damage if you're, if you get too close or if you get too aggressive with it. But it's a great way of cleaning. It's a great way of, like you say, the wheel wells, the wheels, getting the snow out of areas that snow shouldn't be. If you have a pickup truck, again, same thing. So, there are also accessories that go with a pressure washer. They're basically a wand with 4 nozzles on it and 2 wheels that you can roll it underneath your car. And if you have the luxury of having a pressure washer at home that you can use during the winter, that's a great way of getting that salt off. But once again, the touch-free car wash, most of them will have some form of undercarriage wash, and get that undercarriage wash unless you have an electric vehicle. Now, a lot of electric vehicles do not recommend an undercarriage wash because that battery is sitting down there and it doesn't really like getting wet that much.
But you think that the undercarriage wash is not overrated?
Not at all. No, it's a good way. Prepping your car for winter. If you want to do it yourself, you can buy a product like fluid film, spray it on there. Or there's a number of different ones. But if you look up fluid film, you'll find it and its competitors. Or have it undercoated, by a professional. But definitely, if you plan on keeping your car a long time, if you plan on driving it through the salt, driving it through the snow, get that done. Or do it yourself. And then the same thing, get that paint protected. I can't stress that enough. It's going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to make your car look better and a lot nicer to drive in the winter. You might be the only one driving down the highway with a clean car.
Hey, it's the middle of October as of the release of this podcast. It is Ceramic Coating Month, which we have named because we truly believe now is the time to get your vehicle prepared for the winter months. We've got some great deals on ceramic coatings this month. I don't know when you're going to listen to this, so I don't want to tell you about something that no longer exists. But hop on over to DIYdetail.com. Check out what we've got going on over there. If you're listening to it at the time of this broadcast, we're making it worth your while.
Exactly. Now, any little final tips, Nick, on interiors and exteriors for winter driving?
I mean, if you have no budget, get yourself a steamer. Those are absolutely amazing. But the one I use as a professional is like way out of the DIYer's budget. It's like $1,000. But man, those steamers are amazing. They can do everything for you as you get into the nasty winter months. Compressed air is a wonderful tool when it comes to interior detailing. But just maintain your vehicle well and start with a deep, thorough detail before we get into the winter months. And I think you'll be real grateful you did it.
Yeah, definitely. And, during the winter, for the paint, you definitely want the ceramic coating on it if you can. If not, at least ceramic gloss or quick beads. And again, you can use those as drying aids throughout the winter. So when you wash your car, even if you take it through the touch-free car wash, you can clean it up afterwards. Just bring a microfiber towel with you, a bottle of ceramic gloss, and go around the vehicle. That's just going to up that protection, make it better. And before going into the touchless wash, if you don't have too much accumulation on your car, so it's not too bad, you can actually take the water spot remover, spray it on. It's going to revive the hydrophobics. It's going to remove the salt that's attached itself to the paint or to the coating or to whatever you have on there. And the only thing is, if you put a wax, it might destroy the wax. But wax is easy enough to reapply. But again, wintertime, ceramic gloss, quick beads, they're just amazing tools to have with you.
And then with our waterless wash too, you could wash your car on a sunny day in winter, and there might just be one little slush pile you drive through. Well, then you've got the waterless wash for the quick wipe down at home. You get that car dialed back in again. It's great for light dust and just keeping that vehicle as clean as it should be if you just recently washed it. So, man, I know winter's coming. That part of me, like you can hear my voice, is like you could do everything. You could do everything in your power, and winter's still gonna kick your car's butt. That's why you want to do everything on the front end that you can, because the elements are gonna do what they're gonna do.
Exactly. But yeah, make your car clean now. It's going to be easier to clean it through the winter, and it's going to be easier to do that deep spring cleaning as well.
Ivan, good to talk to you as always, sir. We're going to be linking up soon. We're headed to SEMA, the SEMA show. For the enthusiasts out there who can't make it, do you want to share anything about the upcoming trip?
Well, SEMA is always an experience. It's always fun. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to do. So stay with us. We'll have some probably some live broadcasts from SEMA and things like that, and just give you an idea. What would you like to see at SEMA? Do you want to see new detailing products? Do you want to see all the fancy cars? What's your thoughts on what do you want to see at SEMA?
And what should Ivan dress up for Halloween?
No, I'm going to dress up like Yvan. So
my kid's doing the Mandalorian costume. I don't know. I'm not a big dresser upper for Halloween, but if you guys have any ideas for Yvan, we'd love to hear them. Let's have Halloween fun this year. All right, Yvan, that about wraps it up for this edition of the DIY Detail Podcast. If you want to support the channel, we would so appreciate if you would subscribe. Leave a comment because we respond to those. And then, if you're listening to us, not on YouTube, we're always on YouTube, but if you're listening to us on your platform, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast there if you can as well.